We've all seen people who drive really nice fast cars and live in beautiful homes. Have you ever wondered, how do they get there? I'm Kevin Watson, and I love really nice cars. On this show, we dive into our guest stories of what they dreamed of having when they first started out and how they achieved their dreams over time.
This is the Kevin Watson Show.
All right. Well, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. This is our special Christmas edition for all of you. Hopefully we'll get it out at least by March or April. Okay. So, no, just kidding. So I am very excited about our next guest. We've been working to try to get him on here, but he's been very busy lately. So we have Dr. Bijoy John here, and I'm going to go through his bio because it is such a great bio. We've never had anyone this educated on this podcast, so it's going to be interesting for an Alabama-educated gentleman to introduce a physician here. So I'm going to tell you about Bijoy first. He's a board-certified practicing sleep specialist. Yes, for all those who don't sleep, you need to perk up and listen up, share this with everybody. He has over 25 years of experience in the world of sleep medicine. His aim is to heal the world by teaching folks how to sleep better. And he wants everyone to discover or reclaim the power of sleep. He's the founder of the medical director of Sleep Wellness Clinics of America and the Sleep Fix Academy, offering various resources to help with sleeping. Sleep is vital to help mental, emotional, and physical well-being for sure. I can agree with that 100%. And he just wrote a book. We're so excited about this. It's called Nobody's Sleeping. And it teaches folks the 7 proven steps to sleeping better with strategies for better health and happiness. And it's available now to pre-order. And you can go to www.sleepfixacademy.com, or you can go to www.sleepwellnessinfo.com. And from what I understand, Bijoy, it's already hit #1 on Amazon.
Yes, Kevin, I got really lucky. I was at a conference, and when this was coming about, we didn't have a clue. I just spoke at the conference, and then everybody started buying it, and then the algorithm started picking up on Amazon, and then lo and behold, the next day I become the Amazon bestseller on this topic of sleep.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Well, I would say just about every family has someone who doesn't sleep well.
Correct.
I know that I sleep like a train could be going through the bedroom and I would be sleeping, but my wife, she has challenges with sleeping. And so, let's start with the beginning though. Okay. Yes. And then we'll get into that. So, we started because you and I have a love of cars, yes, right? And you've got a beautiful little Gallardo, yes, out there. And, so I want to hear about that because there's a story behind that, right? Yes, yes. But I want to hear, how did you get into loving cars? Tell me about that.
Cars as a young child always fascinates us. And then, when you look into the beauty of this, exotic cars and the sound it makes and the feel you have, I said, I have to have it. Watched on TV, gone to the shows, especially, Nashville is so blessed to have various car shows. And I said, I have to own it one day. And of course, we can't get there, so we have to work hard. And I have a special fascination for German cars and also the Italian cars. So, so I said I have to have one, and the key is the sound and the feel. Yeah, and that's what I fell for.
You just can't get that with an electric car, can you?
That's totally different topic.
We could go down a totally different rabbit hole there.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, I mean, just to hear the sound of that V10 engine, that Italian, yes, V10. Yes. Lamborghini Gallardo, yes, is just is a pretty cool thing. See you rolling up into Italian Cars and Coffee, and it's always fun to see you, my friend. So tell me about your story. How did you get started, and what brought you to where you are here?
Yes, as a small young child and a young man, you always feel you have a gift. So all of us are trying to figure that out.
That's right.
Personally, I started experimenting different things. I started running, playing chess, playing sports. But then when I realized education comes naturally to me, I was so good at it. I said, "Wow, this is my
Your
ticket."
superpower.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was 1984. Carl Lewis, he won 4 gold
Yes.
medals,
Yeah.
and I was so inspired by that one person dominating. I wanted to do achieve 4 things. So I was originally from India, and then the fascination is to come to America and to challenge yourself. So I came here and I specialized in 4 degrees, and in the year 2000, I was board certified in all 4 specialties.
What?
Yes.
What are those 4 specialties?
So first is internal medicine, then is pulmonary, is a lung specialist, then it's an intensive care unit, and of course sleep medicine.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So, golly, I mean, just to come to another country and do that is just unheard of. I mean, most people in America don't do that, much less someone coming to a foreign country and accomplishing that. So after you finished that, what did you do then?
So, the why I chose it is, growing, I had asthma. So as a child, when I used to play sports, I used to get short of breath. I never understood what it was. And then while it gets better, so I had to do, so I empathize with people. So people ask me, how do you feel? I said, I know how I feel, because not to breathe better, because I have asthma myself. So when that's why I wanted to become a lung doctor. So it was during my fellowship that I discovered I have exercise-induced asthma myself. So then when you have bad lung problem, you land in the ICU. And of course, my mom, we were involved in a major accident. Several people were killed, and my mom was in the intensive care unit for several years. And they were about to make a decision to amputate their leg.
Oh, wow.
And there was one doctor who said, no, we're going to try not to do that. So thankful for him that they did not cut her legs off, and she's been a cripple all her life. So I have a special passion in people who are disabled. And I became that doctor in the ICU for many, many people in the intensive care here in Nashville. I've been an honorary pallbearer in many, many funerals. It's not that I was a bad doctor, but when you in the ICU, you have a chance of dying a lot. So then, of course, during training, one of my professors said, hey, sleep is the next big thing. So I also specialized in that. So I was been practicing all these specialties for over 25, close to 20 years in Nashville in a large group. But my passion for sleep was always there. Sleep was always in the back burner, because when you have a lung patient or a patient who was dying, they get more priority. And to see me was like 3 months, 6 months. So I said I have to move out, and I started my own practice here in Brentwood. It's called Sleep Wellness Clinics of America. So serve folks exclusively. And then day in and out, I see the same problem. People are not able to sleep. So I have my own strategy. I'm able to fix a lot of people. And then I said I have to reach more people. And I wrote a book called Nobody's Sleeping. The 7 proven strategies. So that's in short how I came here to this position.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So tell me, how much sleep do you need to be, to really be functioning well?
That's a great question. Yeah, the easy answer is 7 to 8 hours for adults. Of course, teenagers need about 8 to 10 hours. When you're a small child, you require even more than that. But there is a few people who are gifted with, they're called the short sleepers. The previous presidents and Elon Musk, they don't sleep much, but they have a gift. But most of us, we do need about 7 to 8 hours. It's not the quantity, it's actually the quality of sleep.
Gotcha. Yeah, and there's certain phases of sleep, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
That you go into the deep sleep, right?
Yes, there's the REM and non-REM sleep.
Yeah.
In the stage 3 of non-REM sleep is the most sweetest, and REM is the phase where our mind is very active, but we need to solve worldly problems and our own conflicts. So we need the REM sleep to resolve conflicts and consolidate memory and the facts we learn. So we need a balance of both.
To me, that's just fascinating.
Correct.
How God created us and how we have to reset every day through sleep.
Correct. We heal in our sleep,
Yeah.
David had all those, he was interpreted all the dreams.
That's right.
It's all
That's right.
those dreams are,
Yeah.
spiritual and biblical. We
Yeah.
heal in our sleep. And of course, sleep is simple but very, very complicated. Actually, we are dead. We are dead and we die every day.
Wow.
And it's those things that happen. And some people really don't wake up or they pass away in their sleep because there's a lot of, in REM sleep, our body goes through so many changes. You are at risk for arrhythmias and high blood pressure. So that's why the number one cause of people passing away in their sleep is because of these changes that happen.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yes.
That's pretty interesting.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. Now we're going to bounce back and forth between cars and sleep, but
Perfect. Yes.
I want to hear about the Gallardo you have. You have a special one, and tell me about how you came about that and why it's special.
The good news is when you have this desire and interest, you have access to good people.
Yeah.
So I always had this fascination, and my friend, who works in the car industry, Aaron Stokes.
Oh yeah, I love Aaron.
Fix,
we had him on here.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, Aaron, I have this desire. He's like, hey, now is the time. So this was the peak of COVID. Timing was perfect for me. I asked him in May. Of course, my 50th birthday was coming in June 1st. And so we just got it during that time. And then lo and behold, I bought it from, Las Vegas, and it came here. And I didn't know there was something under the hood. I took it to one of the dealer here to change the windshield wiper fluid, and they looked at this, and I looked at them, and I was like, "Hey, what is that?" I thought it was some cryptic message, engine failure or something like that. But they all freaked out. They call all their friends. It's signed by Valentino Balboni himself.
Whoa!
So yeah,
nice.
My car is a LP, 562, which is a Spider, and that model was dedicated to Valentino on his retirement.
Wow, that's cool.
Yes.
That car.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Jay Leno
That's
has
cool.
one.
Oh wow, and I've got a picture of it. We'll post that and show you guys the car and everything where you can see that. That's pretty special.
Yes.
That's pretty special. So, we always like to find out. Our mission and goal here is to pass along this wisdom to the future generations. So when there's a young kid out there that's like you that has some passions about taking care of people and making life better for others, when you come across those difficult moments, I'm sure getting those 4 specialties, there were some challenging times, and then opening up your business and running a business, challenging times, working in the ICU, a ton of challenging times. I couldn't imagine the stress. How do you deal with that? Where do you go to do that?
So, I mean, this is a deep question, right?
Yeah.
So nothing comes without hard work, right?
Amen.
That's
Amen.
it. So
That can't be said enough.
Yes. So I have my foundation. We were born into faith. I come from a place where doubting Thomas, the disciple of Christ, where he brought Christianity to India, and I actually grew up on the Mount and studied there, where he was persecuted and killed. So I consider myself a special Christian.
Yeah.
So the foundation of life for me is faith is number one. Next is family, then fitness and friends.
Yeah.
In fact, in that
the 4
order.
F's.
So once you have that, everything seems to fall into place. My own children, when they complain about things, I ask them, hey, where's your faith? Are you close to us? Are you coming to meet us for lunch or having a communication relationship with us? That's family. How's your workout regimen?
Yes.
And then how's friends? Oh, we have so many friends. So,
right.
So, that's a balance in that order,
Yeah.
So, so you have to keep at it. Of course, I had my own trouble with sleeping when you start a new business or med school, and when my mom passed away. So, but I found a way to sleep better. So that's why I want to teach people and share the joy that I have within by sleeping better. You heal better, so we can be better, powerful, and work in the maximum. So we focus on finances, we focus on fitness, we focus on food, but we have to focus on sleep, because once you have sleep, this is the superpower.
It is.
You can do all the other functions.
It
pretty
is.
easy.
That's the number one torture method.
Correct.
For the enemy when they capture you is sleep deprivation.
Yes.
And I mean, I'm terrible at it. If I'm short of sleep,
Correct.
I'm a bear.
Yes.
And I can't think right, and it's horrible. So I'm one of those that I have to get my sleep for sure.
Yes.
So when you tell me about a time, maybe if you go back to where maybe one of your most challenging times in either business or something like that, where those 4 F's, you can kind of point to how that got you out of that and got you to the next level.
Correct. So, I mean, death and some things that happen in your life that are outside your control, you have no way to know.
Yeah.
So that's where faith is most important, because, the Bible teaches us to give it to God, right?
Yeah.
So we have to find a way, because, I don't know why my mom died suddenly. I wrap around in my head, and I had insomnia. I couldn't sleep for several months. But then finally I had to come to terms with itself that I had to give it. So, when you go through these things, that's why I have those principles.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, life will happen to all of us.
Right. Right.
Nobody's perfect.
That's right.
But do we have the right tools? Do you have the right mentors and the tools and the power within yourself to heal?
Right.
So
right.
our body and our mind are the greatest healer. And sleep
True.
is one of the most important parts, and that's why I discovered the 7 proven sleep strategies. We'll get into it.
Yes. Yeah. So, are you willing to reveal a couple of the strategies for us?
I'll give it. I'll give it all. You
Yeah.
know? So it's called. My daughter is in law school. She said, "Dad, you need to have an acronym for this." So the 7 proven sleep strategies is called the Sleep Now acronym. I have more in my book. I have also a course that I've developed that I am developing. Will be there in the next month or so. So at my www.sleepfixacademy.com. So let's go through it. If everybody has got a pen and paper, please write it down, or you can put it on your phone. So number 1 in the Sleep Now, the acronym S is a schedule. Everybody has to have a schedule. All winners have a schedule. So we have to. The good time to sleep is between 10 to 6. So here's a little caveat. If you go to bed at 10 and can't sleep till midnight, make sure you get closer to your midnight, 11:30. You go to sleep. Don't struggle for 2 hours there. Most people, what they do when they don't sleep, they go to sleep earlier and they struggle more, right? Mm-hmm. So, but make sure you wake up at 6 a.m. So once you have that, you're creating a sleep debt, and then eventually your schedule will fall. So most important thing is wake up at 6 a.m. and go to bed closer to the time you fell asleep the last night, right? That's the best advice I can give you there. Next is the L in the Sleep Now acronym. L is low light, low temperature, low noise. The melatonin that we have, the master hormone that puts us to sleep, is only secreted in darkness and low temperature. All right, so that's the reason why we have that. The next E is my favorite, is electronics, right? So we're all victims to electronics. The light from the cell phone, especially in the bed, creates this signal to the brain. It's still daytime, so we're all creatures of light. So we don't go to bed. So I tell people not to use electronics at least an hour prior to going to sleep. All right. The next E in the acronym is exercise. Exercise creates endorphins and cortisol that revs our body. So I tell people, make sure you don't exercise at least 4 hours prior to going to sleep. So this is the way we are calming your mind, you're calming your body. So now we're coming to the P. This is called power of your mind. So we have done A, B. How do you power off your mind? I teach people 2 basic techniques called vivid imagination. I tell people to use their own imagination and not to take the real problems into bed, but you are the director of your show for that night. So you do that. And also I tell people to practice yoga, nidra, Nidra. This is called nothingness, or you just think about nothing, but you have to do all the stuff I told you and get here. So that's the power of your mind. And then the next is NO. I've combined these 2 together. NO is no to worries. I tell people we are all born to worry. Make sure you worry between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. and prepare to dedicate
worry between 6 between
yes.
And 8. Okay.
And then the W, the last one is win by losing yourself. Sleep is one. You can't go at it strong like working out. You're all puffed up and do, but sleep you have to take it easy. So I'd say win by losing by creating a simple schedule, not very complicated. So I have more in my course, but these are all my snippets you can read in my book also.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
That's wonderful. So these steps, did you come across those as you were learning to try to sleep better? Is that how you experienced these?
And then all my patients have seen me over the years. I give them, the tools. I have a sleep journal. I have a sleep assessment. They take that and they follow it, and it works every time. I'm not a big fan of pills. The pills will be an easy answer.
Now, some people have said, I know I don't sleep well, but I don't want to go through a whole week of trying to go through all this. So I know that you have an answer for that. So what's the answer?
The first step I tell people, it's like taking the stairs. It's not going to be easy.
Right.
It's a 4 to 6 weeks process. But you've been suffering for 20 years.
Yeah.
You're going to suffer another 20 years.
Yeah.
6 weeks in that span is easy to do.
Yeah.
And majority of my folks do get their sleep gets improved by almost 60, 70%.
Yeah.
Of course, you cannot be perfect. If I guarantee 100%, then I'm not telling the truth. But, there'll be outliers. But this strategy works 70 to 80%.
One tip you gave us at one of our business meetings that I'd never forgot, and I used this, was take your clock that's sitting by your bed and put it away.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's a great, piece of advice, because once you look at the time, it's 3 o'clock. It's only 3 o'clock. I only slept this much. So that increases the cognitive activity. And so you have to remove any timepieces from your bed.
Yeah. I even power up my phone in my closet in my master bath.
I'm glad you listened.
I just leave it way over there.
Yes.
And I have slept better, even though I sleep great. I've slept better. Yes. And I don't wake up and go, oh my goodness, I've only got 2 more hours to sleep. Exactly. Then I've caused stress and everything. So
you're
that's
good
really
learner.
good. Yeah. Hey, I'm trying to get all these nuggets. I wrote them all down, just them as fast as I could.
Yes.
So that's great. So let me ask you this. Yes. You've done so much with your life already, and you're young. Yes. You just turned 50. So how do you keep things balanced with your family? Perfect. I know that's one of the F's. That's one of the important F's. So how do you do that?
Somewhere along the line, you can't have it all. Like my ICU days for 20 years of my career, I have to, somewhere along the line, you can't have the personal life. Yeah. So I always tell people it's a triangle, you can only have 2.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Your family, your career, and your personal life. Yeah. I just had my family life and my professional life. I had no time for my personal life. Right. So, that's the paradox of life.
And now you're doing some different things. I understand you're going to play some golf afterwards. Correct. And you've got your golf bag in the passenger side on your Gallardo. So that's your personal part. So I agree with you 100%. A lot of people think that balance can be done, but I think it's really more of an illusion. I think you have to concentrate on certain parts of your life more at certain times in your life, right? Yes. And then go back to concentrating on the family and and yourself and things like that.
So you have to pay the piper, right? You have to put in the work.
You've got to put in the work.
25 years, including my training, and 20 years in practice. Then I had to have a balance. Now I have a really good balance. I take time off during the week to play golf. Yeah. And I've met my match in this game of golf. Boy,
that's a tough one, man.
So I've been doing this for 2 years now. I finally hitting the ball up in the air, and I'm really having fun with it. And good. I've broken the 90s.
That's good. My goal is always to try to get close to bogey golf. Yes, I can get close to bogey golf. Yes. I'm good to go. Yes. If I get a par, my goodness,
Golf is magical.
A birdie's like an eagle to me, so
Hey, I had a hole in one.
No way. You've got a hole in one? Yes. I played all my life and never had a hole in one.
I had a certificate too to prove it. They had to witness it. So golf makes you a better person, because you're out in the sun, you're with people, and it's a challenging field. Yeah. It makes you, my wife says, go play golf. Yeah. So that's
she's like, you need to go play golf.
So because I become a better person, But it's a challenging, any hobbies, your personal time is becoming, it's a challenge when you're going through the battle. Yeah. When you're a young man. But there is, at the end of the tunnel, there is hope, and there's beauty. There's time for that. That's right. But you got to put time somewhere in the beginning. Yeah. And it is an illusion. It is a paradox. You can't have the three things,
the full balance. No,
it's just a season for that.
It's like people think they can multitask.
You can't.
There's no such thing as multitasking. And you've got 4 specialties, correct. So you can tell us if that's true or not.
So how do I balance? I had to, even I've never watched many movies because I had to go rest for my next day's work.
Sure.
But that's I had to be regimented. Yeah. I'm sure if you see people on the basketball, football, players, they're all very regimented.
Yeah.
We see a side of them, but on the other side, they're very regimented for success. So it's an illusion, but the hope is there's time for that.
That's right.
There's a season.
That's right.
In there.
There is.
If you do all the things that I told you, and also focus on sleep, then you can, there's nothing you cannot do.
You've got an amazing work ethic, though. Yes. So where does that come from? Is that from your childhood? Did you have someone to look at that was just a great worker or a hard worker?
It comes from mentors? My parenting. My dad was a disciplinarian. He always, I'm never late for anything. I'm always early.
Mm-hmm.
And he's 90 years old. He's the treasurer of the church still. Awesome. I call him now. I can't find him. He's at church.
Right.
So his faith was so much. And my mom was all about education.
Sure.
When I choose different things and I have to be passionate.
Mm-hmm.
So I have, for the last 3 years, I work out in the mornings.
Yes, me too.
I've been doing that after a good night's sleep.
Yep.
I'm done. I'm ready to go.
Yep.
And then, this hobby of golfing and then my passion in writing. So I have my next book, and I need to write.
Can you give us a hint as to what you're writing on your next book?
Next book is going to be combining the East and the West.
Ooh, that'll be interesting.
People in the East, where I come from, believe they figured it all. Here we believe we figured it out. But I think the beauty is perfectly in the middle. Once you align both, you can be really.
I'm looking forward to reading both of those books.
Yes, that's going to take time. I got to get this going.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, you got to do your world tour on this best-selling book that you've got here.
Yes,
and we're getting the sneak peek right here. So.
Correct. And also I tell people to continue on your passion. I had never known I had a passion I could write, but people who started reading a little bit, they felt very powerful. So I also tell people to try different things, side hustle.
Yeah.
I consider myself a dual professional. I've always been fortunate by having good people in my life and also my passion in real estate. That's another passion of mine. So I invested.
I love it
during
that goes times. To mortgage. Correct. I've been in mortgage business 29 years, but I love real estate. Yes. And I've always had a little bit of real estate, and that's sort of my side hustle, exactly. Is owning real properties and real estate.
Yes.
And I kind of get some of my me time when I'm in front of it, when I'm in that car and I'm listening to that sound and I'm going down the road and I hear that.
Peaceful.
Oh my goodness. Yes. It's just like, it's really, it does bring up the passion.
Correct.
Passion. So you've talked about passion a lot. So last thing I'll ask you, I think that's one of the keys to continuing, because I think without that passion, you're just really not going to be able to continue in those hard times.
Correct.
Right? And I mean, we've had a really hard time in our business because interest rates have gone up so much.
Yes.
But I'm passionate about helping people get into their homes. I'm passionate about helping them, giving them the right advice. And that's why I still do it. Yes. There's days where I'm like, oh goodness, this is tough, but I think that passion gets me through that. So your passion for sleep, I've seen that, throughout your story. Yes. You've talked about, and I love that, because I think, like you said initially, you said, God gives you a gift.
Yes.
And I think that your gift back to them, that back to God, is using that gift to help others and bless others. Correct. Right?
Yes.
So
you talk about passion. When you have passion, work is no more work. It's
That's
part
right.
of your life.
That's right.
So, people have to rethink. So you have to invent yourself and
so
see
if you're
what
young
your
out there and you're going, man, what do I do with my life?
Yes.
Start with something that you're passionate about.
Correct. And have a side hustle.
Have a couple
work
of things
to feed the other one.
So in a way, you'd have to kind of cast several lines out there and test out your passions, because you have 4 specialties.
Yes.
and you're specializing really mainly in one,
Yes.
although those probably complement what you're doing.
Yeah, because sleeping. The word sleep apnea means to stop breathing. So I know all my physiology. We didn't even get into that's a separate topic. Sleep apnea.
We could get you and Kelly Rice on here and really have fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she's an amazing dentist that specializes in sleep apnea.
Correct.
And help with that. But well, buddy, this has been a blessing.
Yes.
I have gotten so much from it, and I'm sure our 3 listeners will get something from it too.
I think it'll be 4, including myself.
We'll make it 4 now, and we'll definitely look forward to reading that book. I appreciate you being on the show for me, brother.
Yeah, and any experience, whether it's positive, God is molding you to be a better person. He always promises great things in the future.
Amen.
Right? There's hope. So let's enjoy the season. Just sleep well, and be well, and let's go sleeping.
Amen. The hope of the world is right now celebrated through Jesus.
Correct.
And so praise God for him. And y'all have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you.